Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm finally filming an updated braid out routine video. I realized the last time I filmed this tutorial was years ago now, and I've actually changed up a couple of things. I'm not even using most of the products that were featured in that first braid out video, but I will link it below if you guys want to see it. It's going to be a bit more detailed than this one is. So first things first, I am going to be starting with the Deva Curl Super Stretch Styler. I love this styler because it's going to create elongation, which is one of the perks of a braid out, as well as definition. I like that it's really thick and also provides hold, and that a little goes a very long way when using it. Now, I choose to go for creamy stylers like this, or even a mousse, because they're going to provide a good balance of both definition, creating, as well as hold, and they're going to allow you to be able to have this style for several days after the initial styling. I do not like to use things like a gel for these kind of for these kind of styles, only because I just feel like it creates a bit too crispy of a curl. But if you have a lightweight gel, maybe it could work. Or if your texture of hair is a bit more dense and thick than my own, or maybe even a bit more coarse, you may find that using a gel actually works really well for you. I have done an eco styler for braid outs before, back when I was first natural, but I would always pair them with an oil just to kind of soften some of that gel cast, because with my braid outs, once I take them down and fluff them, I really like there to be a great balance between both curls and volume. I like for you to not even see the parts that were created or were in my hair when I had the braids, and I like for it to have kind of a wash and go fluffy curly vibe to it, even though it's a braid out. So once I install all of my braids, and I use my finger to curl the ends, but if you find that you don't get a curl on the ends of your hair, simply use a perm rod. And personally, I recommend using the gray or white size, the shorter ones for shorter hair, because they're going to be easier to use on just your ends. And on half of my hair, I actually just finger coiled my ends. On the other half, I use perm rods. So to take down my style, I'm going to be using an oil today. This is also from Deva Curl, but you can use any oil that you have in your arsenal. Just go for something that's lightweight, that's purposed for finishing the style, a finishing oil, because you don't want your hair to be too greasy, but you do want to add a nice shine. And what I like to do is whatever oil I'm going to use, I apply while the braids are still in, and I also apply it to my hands, and then I rub down the braids while they're still in place. I find that this allows me to create shine to the hair, but since my hair is technically still braided up, it doesn't create undue frizz. Now, in my first tutorial for braid outs, I focused so much on the installation of the braids, but really the big kind of important part to me with the braid outs is not how you put the braids in. You can put messy braids in and still get decent results, but it's really important that the takedown is a little bit more meticulous. I find that I like to slowly unravel the braid, kind of basically in the reverse motion of that I would use when braiding it. And then I also look at the hair and notice where it wants to separate. I don't just like to go through my hair and kind of force it to separate in different parts, if that makes sense. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm looking down in the mirror and looking at where my hair is already separating naturally so, and then fluffing it and separating it apart. That kind of lets me know that the hair wants to separate in that area. And then as the days proceed with the style, I'll fluff a little bit more each morning and it gets bigger and bigger. But initially, I know I'll have more definition, a little less volume on day one, but I like to go ahead and do it that way, just so that way, one, I have little to no frizz day one. And by having little to no frizz day one, I'm able to get at least a week of wear out of this style. So I just like to go ahead, be kind of very precise and meticulous with the takedown process, and just, if the hair doesn't naturally want to separate, I don't force it to. I find that when people just kind of drag through their hair, it ends up creating a lot of volume if that's what you're aiming for, but it also will create a lot of frizz and kind of take away from the definition you just worked so hard to kind of create by means of the braids. So I really am a big stickler for just my takedown process. I have my hands coated with oil, I have the braids already coated with oil, and I like to just naturally let the hair separate little by little, instead of just going through and kind of just haphazardly fluffing it. I really try to take a notice of where the hair wants to break apart. And this has just worked for me to give me the results that I always get so many compliments on, that are just really, really defined, really, really soft, and really, really beautiful right from day one. And if you want to add more volume instead of doing too much undue fluffing, I like to go ahead and just use a pick at the roots to just add some lift. So as you can see, my hair is very, very defined, and this section of my hair is actually a bit tighter in texture as well as a bit thicker and more coarse. So I separate this area less because I know it can get really, really frizzy really, really quick. So just again, paying attention and kind of listening to what your hair wants to do, to me, is what gets me the best results. So at this part, I'm at the halfway mark, and I'm gonna just go ahead and finish taking down all of my braids. And as you guys can see, my hair has so much shine, and it's really, really soft from the stylers I used. So definitely I recommend finding stylers that are gonna work well together. I just used one styler. I didn't do a lot of layering. I feel like that helps it stay simple, and it also prevents me from having a styler that reacts badly to one another and creating all those white flakes. I hate when that happens, especially after you've done all the hard work of styling your hair. So the Super Stretch styler was actually a great styler on its own. It worked just fine. Another really good styler is also the Nairobi Mousse. It's a much more affordable option, but it can give a lot of definition to all hair textures and types as well. And I actually have an Amazon store that I'll link in the bottom of this video, showing you guys kind of my picks for what I've been using most recently to create my favorite kind of results with my braid outs. So that'll be in the description bar of this video, with both the Super Stretch option as well as the more affordable options of the Nairobi styler. So guys, these are my finished results. Really defined, really soft, really shiny, really healthy. Love, love, love this style. It's one of my go-tos. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.